They exchanged one final message before the sun rose, a single sentence, typed out on a glowing screen in the pre-dawn quiet. "See you on the other side." It wasn't a promise of an afterlife, but a pact made between two souls separated by a world they no longer recognized. Leo was in a bunker, deep beneath the scorched earth of what was once a bustling city. The air was stale, recycled, tasting of metal and dust. Above him, the sky was a permanent, angry orange, choked with the remnants of a war nobody had won. His only window to the outside world was a flickering satellite feed and the messages he exchanged with Alara. Alara was adrift. Literally. She was on T-Ark, a repurposed deep-sea research vessel, now a floating sanctuary on an endless, churning ocean. The world she knew had been swallowed by rising tides, leaving only scattered islands of what used to be mountains. Her connection to Leo was a lifeline, a fragile thread of data beamed across a broken planet. Their story didn't start with the end of the world. It started in a crowded university library, over a shared table and a spilled coffee. Leo, a shy astrophysics student, fascinated by distant galaxies. Alara, a brilliant marine biologist, passionate about the mysteries of the deep. They were two halves of the same coin, one looking up, the other looking down. Their love was a whirlwind of late-night talks, stargazing trips, and dreams of a future they thought was guaranteed. But the world had other plans. First came the tremors, then the great fires, then the floods, the great unraveling, the news called it, before the news went silent. Nations fractured, people scattered. Leo, with his technical skills, was conscripted into the subterranean project. Alara, with her marine expertise, was chosen for the Ark initiative. They were torn apart, sent to opposite ends of a dying world. For 5 years, their only contact was through the Econet, a makeshift global communication system built from salvaged parts. Their messages were their reality. They shared the taste of their synthetic food rations, the hum of the machinery that kept them alive, the faces of the strangers they now called neighbors. They described sunrises they couldn't see and oceans they couldn't touch. They kept each other sane, but the Econet was failing. The satellites were decaying, their orbits degrading. Each connection became a gamble. Messages would arrive corrupted, or not at all. The silence between their conversations grew longer, more terrifying than the tremors that still shook Leo's bunker or the storms that battered Alara's ship. Then came the final protocol, Project Dawn. A long-shot attempt to reboot civilization. 2 designated locations, one on the only remaining large landmass, the other on a newly formed volcanic archipelago. All survivors were to make their way there. For Leo, it meant a perilous overland journey through ruined landscapes. For Alara, a treacherous voyage across unpredictable seas. They would be out of contact for the entire journey, a year, maybe more, with no guarantee the Econet would ever come back online. That's what led to this final message, the night before they both began their pilgrimages. They had spent hours typing, a frantic, heartfelt rush of everything left unsaid. They relived their first date, the silly arguments, the quiet moments of perfect understanding. They sent each other old photos, pixelated ghosts of a happier time. They tried to cram a lifetime of love into a few kilobytes of data. Leo looked at her last message. "See you on the other side." It was a phrase they used to say after watching a sci-fi movie, a playful nod to their shared nerdy interests. Now, it held the weight of their entire world. The other side wasn't just a place, it was a time, a future where they could be together again. He typed his reply, his fingers hovering over the keys. "I'll be the one holding the coffee." It was a reference to how they met, a silly, private joke that was just for them. He hesitated for a moment, the weight of the silence pressing down on him. Then, he hit send. The message status read delivered, a small, green miracle. He watched the indicator until the connection finally broke and the screen went blank. The sun was now rising, its weak, filtered light barely piercing the dust-filled sky above. A new day. The first day of the rest of his life. He stood up, took a deep breath of the stale air, and slung his pack over his shoulder. The journey would be long and dangerous. He might not make it. She might not make it. But as he walked towards the heavy blast door of the bunker, there was no fear in his heart, only a single, burning hope. He had a coffee to deliver, and he knew, on the other side of the world, a woman was sailing across an endless ocean, holding on to that very same hope. Their love wasn't just in messages anymore. It was in every step he took, and every nautical mile she crossed. It was the last, unbreakable thing in a broken world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.